for me, it just felt like, what is she even answering? Like, okay, why have they not been leading the discussion? Why have they disappeared, right? I think she just feels like anything that is questioning MSE feels like, how dare you question that we are not doing things for Singaporeans? And that is what I find worrying.
But maybe that's the mandate where, we may be taking a forest from you, but we are giving you back a garden in the city, Singapore is a garden city, so we take back a forest, but we give you a garden city.
Are we a forest city? No, that is in JB.
And what happened to Forest City, we all know. Tan Kin Lian will tell you up front, right?
What is the point of a ministry that is not willing to stand up for what it's supposed to take care of?
I feel like the basic things like how many stars there are on the flag, or if they're not even bothering to catch these things, right? That means like how many details fell through the cracks before they decide, let's just release this on National Day.
But they will tell you in the next version, don't worry. Part of the beauty of like art is once you create it, once you cook a dish and all that, it's done. Oh, you don't like the movie? Okay. You're going to have a separate screening just for minorities, all Indian people.
Minority edit. Director's cut is on minority cut.
Minority cut. These days, everyone is talking about podcasting. Maybe your friend just started one, maybe the thought's been at the back of your mind, or maybe your company is wondering if they should even have one too. But when someone asks you what it actually takes to make a podcast, you realize you don't really know, and you don't even know who to ask. That's why on the 20th of August at 7:30 p.m, we are hosting our first ever podcast online taster session. It's basically 90 minutes that'll hit the basics, giving you a real taste of what it actually takes to get a podcast going. All delivered by Terrence and myself, two people who made all the mistakes so you don't have to. We'll cover stuff like our ideation process, the crucial test to see if your podcast idea would last for 100 episodes, and the one key thing anyone interested in podcasting needs to know. Plus, there'll be time for Q&A, so you'll be able to ask any burning questions you may have. And sales are now live, so you can head to our website, ministryofffunny.com, or the link in the show notes to check it out. So once again, it's happening on Thursday, 20th August at 7:30 p.m, and we would love to see you there. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
We are in the 62nd year of Singapore after we just celebrated the 61st birthday this past weekend.
Yeah, awesome long weekend, man.
Yeah, awesome long weekend.
Yeah.
Felt like the roads were emptier. I'm guessing people may be staying at home or not in Singapore.
Yeah, were the roads really that much emptier?
Yeah, I recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't driving around. I just walked to most places. Just to, go to the park.
But did it feel like emptier also?
It wasn't as packed as I would have imagined it to be on a weekend. That's for sure.
That's why.
Yeah. I mean, everyone Sunday, 6 p.m, you know where everyone's going to be, right?
Yeah.
They're all going to be either at the stadium if you're lucky enough watching the parade, or at home watching the parade. Yeah. Were you watching the parade at home?
So for... I don't know why Terrence has this vendetta that for some reason I will hate the parade, I will ignore it and all. It was on the TV because there's someone in my family whose birthday is also on August 9th.
Okay.
So it became like a family thing. So the TV was on. Me and my wife were preparing the food, so I didn't watch it. But I caught up. I watched it after the parade.
4 times speed.
Terrence, you don't anyhow try and spin this shit. Okay, I watched it in its entirety, so I have every right to share my comments.
Can.
And rebut any kind of thing you're insinuating about how I don't care about Singapore.
But the larger narrative that I'm just angling at is that there was a lot of there's been a lot of negativity about the parade before and after, online, and also amongst some people I talked to, mainly older folks. Who, they say, there was no mobile column. There was no red lions, no aerial display. So, it just didn't feel like an NDP. But for you, how do you feel it when you're watching?
I will say that my expectations were not high. Because I had heard from people who went to the preview. Some said it was nice, some said it was a bit... And after last year's, bombastic show, I was thinking, okay I'm gonna hate watch it.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, right, I actually really liked it. And I thought it's the exact kind of parade that it feels Singapore needs at this point. But before I go any deeper, what about you?
Yeah, I was worried that this year's parade would just be like a stopgap between last year, the Padang SG60, all that, and then like moving to NS Square, right? And we all heard about the logistical difficulties of having mobile column and aerial display and even seeing fireworks from inside the NDP. But I was quite spectacularly surprised by how they made the National Stadium really work for this NDP. Yeah. And it gave me vibes of like watching a Super Bowl halftime show, that kind of thing also, right?
Oh, really? I mean, for me, it felt very grounded. And I actually got like emotional at multiple points.
Okay. Maybe because I'm more focused. I was very focused on
the production,
the technical and just how they use the space and all that. But yours was more on the
emotion,
the people on the ground, that kind of thing.
People on the ground.
Yeah. You're all about the human side of things, right?
And finally, like the NDP songs also, it felt there was a reason why there were 3 and they were all written that way.
Pray tell, what's the reason?
I mean, because, so for people who maybe didn't watch through the whole thing and all, I was ready to be like, you know what, this NDP sucked and all that. Also coming off the back of last year, which was very spectacular. But this one, it felt like, maybe it's in the wider context of like, just our lives being inundated with like tech and AI and like fucking just like, how you say, spectacles, Like it feels like Singapore is becoming one big shopping mall, we've heard an analogy. But this one, it felt like, hey, actually, let's bring it back to the basics.
Yeah.
Maybe the production doesn't need to be that crazy, even though there were some spectacular shows like for 𝗬𝗲 𝗪𝗀 with the drones and all. It felt like, hey, actually, this feels like it's just celebrating, like what you say, the people.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very nice. Like, for example, the whole segment, I thought my favorite segment was the part looking at our heritage where there was that Aznida Daud, who is someone who sings about the Orang Laut.
Yeah.
And she used language that is apparently like indigenous to Singapore. And it felt like, wow, the singing, there's definitely no lip syncing from her, from the Indian cultural person, the Chinese cultural person. And I felt like, hey, actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I really like those elements.
Yeah, and I mean, people complain no mobile column, but I thought one of the most moving parts was when, during the march past and everything, there was a whole contingent of people from, I think, the disabled society, right? And that was really, really a nice moment, right? That they had the time in front of the camera as well. And then, we just acknowledge and recognize them. And maybe because there wasn't so much going on, you just spend a lot more time just watching the people out there, right? The young kids, the young NSFs and everyone out there. And even all the volunteers and school kids as well. There's just a lot more focus on the people there.
Yeah.
So it was nice that way.
I mean, we have also heard from people who either went there themselves or know people who went there. Depending on where you sat in the live show, you might come away with very different feelings about it.
There's position privilege.
There's position privilege, correct. There's position privilege. I mean, we've heard the red section was where it was the place to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a viewer, everybody sees the same thing on TV. I mean, I won't deny, I did go double speed at certain parts.
Sure.
But overall, looking at it, I'm like, hey, actually, this feels like it's not the most spectacular. Initially, when it started, it looks like a stadium. Then the nice thing about a Padang is it feels like it's an open space and it's repurposed. Whereas the stadium almost felt like this was built for parades. Like, how Singapore is building third spaces.
Yeah, correct.
But it lent itself to other things which is not possible in an open square.
Yeah. And to be specific, I think the privilege we're talking about was that those people seated on the side of the members of parliament, all, you saw everything full frontal, right? But if you're seated on the opposite end of the stadium, all you see are the performers' butts, right?
Correct.
And even like 𝗬𝗲 𝗪𝗀 flying through the air, her back's facing you, the drones are in your face, but the performers are all behind the drones.
And then because of the production where there was a raised platform, apparently some parts were also blocked from view.
So those, on the point that raised platforms, when I made the allusion to Super Bowl halftime shows, I was thinking of like that very, very popular Super Bowl show with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all, where they had like this huge platform in the middle of the field, and then one end of the platform to another, it showcased like the different parts of the city of LA and all.
Yeah.
And the performers would go up and down the platform. So they did something similar for this one where, there was one huge raised platform, and then the sides of the platforms were like LED screens showing different things. And yeah, performers would come in and out or through the ground on those platforms. I think even 𝗵𝗶𝗀 at one point, she appeared on one of those like square cube platforms.
Yeah.
And I think 𝗬𝗲 𝗪𝗀's one was probably the one that most people talk about, where one of the cubes was raised to the ceiling. Then she came out from under the cube.
Yeah, man, she was hanging there.
Yeah, she was hanging there. She didn't come from the floor and rise up. She like emerged like downwards from the cube. So
Yeah,
that
like-
was like the cube
Like
shattered
being
out.
born like that, yeah. Like
Okay,
being born.
like born.
Fucking being born, like shatter out.
Okay, I'm trying to say as elegantly as I can. But
Yeah,
yeah, that
being
was
born.
pretty cool. And then, yeah, we don't have like 10,000 drones like those China shows have, right? But the 300 drones, paired with a human, I think it had a very nice effect, like gave her wings and
Yeah,
everything.
the drone didn't take center stage.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
elevated the
Technology
human.
is not at the forefront.
It elevated the human. But the when I mentioned about the songs playing, having a different role, it felt like, yeah, 𝗬𝗲 𝗪𝗀, the first one, was talking about, like they were all in the later segments of talking about the future. Then it was, talking about how things will get different, which I feel might be an anthem they might play in Parliament. Because the lyric is, you know it gets different before it gets better. You'll be okay, you'll be okay. You can imagine 𝗲𝗲 playing that.
Yeah.
You can imagine David Neo, 𝗬𝗲 playing that. Then 𝗵𝗶𝗀 was talking about standing on the shoulders of giants. And you see Gavin Lee, Melanie Martins, and like athletes and coaches. And even the athletes, actually, you look at their names and their ethnicities and all, it feels damn multicultural.
Yeah.
Some names sound like Japanese. Then visually you see Caucasians, and they're all Singaporean.
Yeah.
So it felt like, not bad. But I can see why people would say, no red lions. My first thought was, no red lions, a bit of a downer.
Yeah.
But still nice.
Yeah. I guess quite, novel location as well. It feels very visually quite fresh.
Yeah.
So, you do realize that I think in previous episodes you're talking about not feeling the three songs and everything.
Yeah.
But now you feel it, right?
I feel it. But I felt more for the other songs.
Oh,
like, the
𝗬𝗲.
there's the like the cultural ones. I really like the cultural ones. And there was one duo that did the like some very ethereal kind of song, like a duo that deconstructs music and all.
Oh yeah, the 𝗲𝗲 guy.
Yeah. Wow, that was
cool.
Cool, man.
Yeah. And the costumes are pretty cool too.
Yeah. Then I'm like, hey, we had no idea about these sort of communities, which is super cool.
Yeah. I was a bit sad, like towards the end of the parade, because I thought, they froze up Ben King's song, Not Alone.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like, his era has passed.
Yeah, it's over. Like too much Ben King. Then suddenly when it came to the closing credits, they just looped Not Alone for 10 minutes or something. So I was like, okay, he's fine.
Just to put his name in, Ben King was part of the NDP. He was performing on one of those satellite events.
Oh yeah, but not at
the concert. I think the concert.
Gardens by the Bay, I think. Yeah.
But I didn't know that now all the NDP hosts must sing. All of them can sing.
I don't know.
All of them had singing
they had
sections.
segments. Maybe that was the part of the thing, because I think the creative director, Brian Gotong Tan, is it? Or Brian Gotong something.
I will find it.
But he's a theatre guy, right? And he's quite
Brian Gotong Tan, yeah.
Tan. Okay. Yeah, but he's a theatre guy, so he's really about the musicality and the dancing aspect of things.
Yeah.
And I think you could really see it. The one part I also really enjoyed was the playground mascots. Do you remember seeing them representing the pelican?
I was wondering where they looking out from.
Where they what?
Where are they looking out? Because there was this other thing that looks like
the head.
the head.
But it was quite cool. The design, and I think they somehow made the mascots, when the mascots dance, their heads would bobble really hard as well.
Yeah.
So they really looked like they were headbanging throughout the NDP. So yeah, overall, I actually enjoyed watching it a lot. Like just sitting at home watching it, didn't get a chance to go to the parade itself, but I really enjoyed watching it at home.
Do you think your perspective was also shaped by the fact that you're a parent?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
I think that influences me a lot.
Yeah. So I think a couple of years ago I went to the parade with my kid, and that showing the aerial fly past and just pointing out everything, Tharman coming around and everything like that. those are, it's quite something to remember. Because you really see the parade in a different way. I remember the cynicism I had as a younger person about the parade, like, I don't want to deal with this shit. And I mean, we talked to some of the younger people in the office. They were like, no, I didn't watch it. Not interested.
Not naming names. Not naming names. Yeah.
But then as a parent, then you understand, okay.
Got some value.
Understand it now,
Got some value. Because, I mean, objectively, you look at it, it does feel like, wow, this is propaganda to the max. But, I mean, once you, there are certain things that I feel tied together. And the fact that they're showing, just regular people.
Yeah.
And to that point,
to that point, we're just really not harping on having seen an image of Lee Kuan Yew or hearing his voice being played again, during NDP.
Yeah.
It kind of told you, this is an NDP that's really focused on the people who, the people on the ground who are here now and represent, how we built the country on their shoulders, not just one man or one party or one government. Yeah.
But, I mean, and as far as I could tell, not much AI. Generative content?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah.
Not much. But the thing is, if you watch the stream online, because PropNext, one of the big sponsors, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, the number of AI ads they had. It's like Singapore people using AI and it felt like, hey, NDP, can you leave it alone?
Yeah.
But I mean, we will talk more about that.
Yeah. Seeing a lot of big companies using AI ads now, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was, the big celebration of the country's birthday. Is meant to make you feel appreciative of the country. But here we are, about to complain about more things again. It's like we took a break.
Back to regular programming.
We put away our cynicism for a few days. And today we unlocked the box and it's back
unlocked
again.
It. And this cynicism stems from something that happened even before National Day.
Yeah.
Which we kind of talked about in a previous episode, but there was another development. And that is the topic around the conversations around Maju Forest and Gillman Barracks.
Yeah.
Last week, we covered the discussions that happened in Parliament where, as a result of Kenneth Tiong from the WP asking a question about the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment not taking a bigger role in these discussions.
Yeah.
The response from Alvin Tan was, not the most ideal, but then 𝗲𝗲 also entered the chat and gave her thoughts about how whenever someone from the PAP presents something in Parliament, the whole government is behind them.
Yeah.
And if the WP members were expecting a fight, then they will be sorely disappointed. So we already covered that. But then on 7th August, 𝗲𝗲, the Minister for Sustainability and Environment, posted a series of thoughts on social media. And what was the crux of those thoughts, Terence?
I mean, the reason we're talking about this, it's such a stark post that is so different from everything else she posts. Especially in the last few days over National Day, photos of her with other female MPs and all that. But this one was just like a white background with black text.
Creased paper.
Creased paper
to show that, a little bit of sentimentality.
Texture.
Yeah, texture.
So it was a very, quite a, I guess, serious response to some of the backlash or the discussions going on about her, what she said in Parliament, right? And I thought this was interesting to cover because nowadays, I thought you see a debate happen in Parliament and then they say what they want and it's on the hard side and that's it, right? So for a minister to actually come back onto social media and then respond to the response to her comments in Parliament, I think it's not a small thing, right? And she's not just doing it in a what do you call it, doorstop interview, but she's actually addressing it in black and white on the social media with something like a statement, right? Which I think says a lot more than what she said in Parliament, right?
Yeah. And basically there are 9 photos. I'll just speed through them. Basically, it starts off with, I've been following the conversations around development plans for Maju Forest and Gillman Barracks and would like to share some thoughts. It's like, when people post emotional stuff on social media, they just do text only. Each ministry serves its mandate within specific domains. Goes on to talk about what MND oversees, like land use, planning, zoning, taking into account the trade-offs across government, including biodiversity. MSE does not have a mandate in these areas, even though these issues are considered alongside the climate agenda. Then she makes us do some homework, read about MSE's responsibilities at mse.gov.sg. Then she explains how there are different agencies with different roles, all working closely to serve Singaporeans on stuff like climate mitigation and national undertakings. They come together to form a coherent plan with stakeholders and Singaporeans. And then she gave an example of like the green plan, for example, which was coordinated by MSE. Got a lot of feedback from a lot of different working levels and shaped by many sessions of public consultation. Each ministry had a hand. Trade-offs were worked through and reconciled, and they take a collective responsibility when it's approved by cabinet. So then the last couple of slides were like how much she appreciates Singaporeans caring so much about green spaces, to balance hard trade-offs, to arrive at a national adaptation plan. Because if you look at MSC's messaging, there's a lot about adaptation as opposed to prevention.
Yeah.
How do you need to get public agencies, industries, businesses, blah, blah, blah. Collective plan for Singapore by Singaporeans. And, always for Singaporeans in mind. And that's it. So, I mean, you can go and look at the post yourself if you're listening or watching this. We'll put a link. But reading that, like, what do you feel, Terence? Especially just now we're talking about how the NDP made us feel something.
I do feel that it's very clearly immediately trying to distance the MSE from the MND's work, right? And pointing out that MND is the one who oversees the land use planning, whereas MSE is not the one doing that. It doesn't, determine which forest we're going to cut down and everything. So it strikes me as a very defensive maneuver on behalf of the ministry, and sort of like almost this statement almost seems to 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝗀 the issue to MND side, and saying that MSE focuses on a different set of agendas, and you have any criticism about this issue of Maju Forest, please take it up with the MND side first, before coming to us. So yeah, it struck me as very, very defensive in its tone compared to how she was in Parliament, which was a much more like, oh yeah, we are in lockstep with MND on this issue, and we know everything, that all the considerations and have all been considered already, and we are now speaking as one government. So now this feels to me a little bit like a retreat, like saying, oh, that was MND's decision. Ours is a different agency and we don't handle it on our side.
Oh, so I mean, that means when she spoke in Parliament, you didn't see that as defensive?
No, I saw it as very, very, very offensive in a way, like almost attacking the opposition for even daring to ask a question, right? Trying to instigate a fight between us. No, we are one united government, and we got each other's back, right? Whereas here is like we are different agencies with different roles, and we work closely together. Just sort of like drawing a bit of lines between the agencies.
So got fight, Terence. You're saying got fight, is it?
Am I saying that there's a fight between them? No, I'm saying that there's a 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝗀 of the full responsibility of this decision from MSC side to MND. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it just felt like, what is she even answering? Like, the question at the end of the day, Kenneth Yong was like, okay, why have they not been leading the discussion? Why have they disappeared, right? But then this one, like, it can still exist in a world where, yes, MND gets feedback from MSC, but MSC actually has feedback of their own. And that's why I felt like she can just say like certain things about MSC and how they see this problem. I think she just feels like anything that is questioning MSC feels like, how dare you question that we are not doing things for Singaporeans? And that is what I find worrying. Like, the picture she paints is that every ministry is always in sync. But we just had Lawrence Wong saying we don't want groupthink, right? We want diversity of thoughts, right?
Yeah.
What is the point of a ministry that is not willing to stand up for what it's supposed to take care of? If it's always agreeing, it almost feels like MSC is subordinate to MND. Then why is it a different ministry? It feels like a department. So that's why when I see this, I'm like, this is, when someone is damn insecure and you just ask them one question, you're like, what you say? I'm like that. No, we never do this. This post is like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people online have raised that it's not so much that we want you to fight each other. What we want to know is the transparency in the decision process and how involved was MSE in providing feedback, or at least the feedback from the ground, to the MND, right?
Yeah.
That many people are concerned with this issue. That's the thing that has not been answered in Parliament or even in here. So it's really about the transparency of the process. But I think one disservice that 𝗲𝗲 has done for the government in Parliament is she kind of has laid bare, that a lot of times this process feels like it's run by a group of yes men, right? And that
yes woman also.
Yes women, yes men.
Okay, Terence, please.
Yeah, she has done nothing to dispel the belief that people online have that is a bunch of yes people just rubber stamping issues, right? Which it may not be. And I think that's the disservice that she's doing to her own ministry and the government also, where there could have been very robust debate and back and forths between the ministries. But her answer in Parliament, I think, weakened that argument, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad because I think even for her, she just only last October in 2025 was named to Time 100 Climate 2025, the third annual 100 leaders driving measurable, successful and equitable business climate action in the world. So 𝗲𝗲's name is there alongside people like Gavin Newsom and, people who are doing it around the world, right? So she is very globally recognized and celebrated as one of the leaders doing that, to quote, in making the city and its architecture more nature forward and adaptable to climate change. But when you watch a response like how she did in Parliament, you're like, this is the person that is part of that Time 100 list.
But the key word there is adaptability. Right?
Correct.
That's the thing. It's always about adapting. It's like MND decides and we adapt.
Yeah.
Which again goes to what you said, it's like a bunch of yes men, yes people. People.
Yeah.
And it's just everything that they're trying to dispel with, like Lawrence Wong saying we don't want groupthink. That whole shit show with NTUC Alliance, where it felt like it was a bunch of yes people also.
Yeah.
And this one is just seeing it play out again. Like she really didn't have to post anything. No?
Yeah, correct. But maybe that's where there was pushback from her agency, right? That MSE needs to say something stronger about this, or maybe pushback from other party members or the government as well, right?
Yeah.
The MSE needs to take a stronger stand in this because, I think a lot of people are making content on TikTok and Instagram, really
calling her out
specifically, right? Yeah, that is literally what sustainability is about. They're pulling up old videos from 2024 of her talking about climate change and deforestation and what they can do about it. But to that point where it's really what the role of MSE, right? It's about sustainability of a city in nature, right? And it's more about a garden city rather than a city next to a forest, basically. So, she said the famous line, "We may be taking a chicken wing from you, but we are giving you a whole chicken." This was back in the 𝗲𝗲's Things period. There's something that she's infamous for saying, right? But maybe that's the mandate where, we may be taking a forest from you, but we are giving you back a garden in the city, So that's the thing, right? Singapore is a garden city, so we take back a forest, but we give you a garden city.
Are we a forest city? No, that is in JB.
Touche! Yeah. And what happened to Forest City? We all know. Tan Kin Lian will tell you up front, right?
Yeah, it's deserted. We have an example. No, we are not a forest city.
We're a garden city.
Garden city. Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, what you were saying about MSC's role, right? Then it almost makes it seem like, if you think about it, if she says, MSC does not have any mandate on land use and land zoning, so MND is the ultimate ministry. You want Ministry of Law, you want to move buildings or build a new building for your ministry or build a new court. If MND say cannot, then you have to adapt. MOH, you want hospitals, if you cannot fight for it, MND decides. So then it feels like, then this MSC ministry is for what? Then do we even need another ministry? Because you have another ministry, it absorbs all these resources and pay and salary and all. So then, like what you said, it's a complete disservice. Yeah, so that's what it feels like. Then, MND, Singapore land is precious, right? So the MND is the most powerful M of all.
Yeah. But I mean, what else would you expect her to say? Like, let's say we take away this Maju forest issue for a second. We jump to something that we're going to talk about later. But let's say if she was really to make a if you really want MSE to say something about climate change and the waste of resources on technology and all, you think about the AI data centers that are being built around the world, right? Those suck up resources like nobody else, right? Can you expect our Ministry of Sustainability and Environment to say, oh, AI is bad for Singapore, bad for the global environment? We have to take a stand against it. Can she say that? Because we know that our government is pushing for AI and everything, all right?
Yeah.
Can she go against the grain and say something like that?
I mean, but that's what actually, if there were, a bit more vocal thoughts from her about things that might be, not say in complete agreement with Alvin Tan or MND, I think that's actually healthy. And it goes back to the transparency. Like, that's what I respect about people like Christopher D'Souza and other PAP MPs who ask relatively pointed questions.
Yeah.
Because that to me is like, okay, then it is not just groupthink. It is not just everybody just being yes people. And these are the kind of conversations we need to have. But when 𝗲𝗲 comes out and says that, and we haven't seen her say anything apart from this. Like, she want to post something now. How come she never posted anything before?
Yeah.
So that is the kind of issue. And I think she can, at the end of the day, still say that, okay, after discussions, this is still the best path forward that, like has the greatest utility. I think people can accept that, but it's just how you get there.
Yeah.
And she's so defensive at every step of the way. She's invisible at every other step before that. It just feels like, I think maybe she thinks that, how can she come out and say, I completely disagree with MND? No, that's not what people are asking.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I think, this statement that she put on social media should have formed the core of her response during Parliament, right? And then you respond to questions from there, right? But I think the fact that Kenneth Tiong characterized it as staying silent on the issue, right?
Yeah.
It really felt like that. And then someone just angrily, very emotionally coming up and, saying, what, you're trying to start a fight between us? Trying to stir shit, huh?
Yeah.
I want to fight, take outside, that kind of thing. It just doesn't feel very becoming of our parliamentary system, right? We don't want it to descend into that kind of tit for tat. And I think ultimately people online just are also saying, this, if anything, this back and forth, this triangle between Kenneth Tiong, Alvin Tan, and 𝗲𝗲 kind of demonstrates to you exactly why we need opposition in Parliament, right? If the ministries between each other are not going to ask tough questions or are not going to be seen asking tough questions from each other, then we need someone who's a bit more, even maybe performative in some aspect to stir this up, and then we see what the response is, and then we can decide from there. And then it will trigger more transparency and reactions from the decision makers.
Yeah. And if I was in opposition now, I always feel like, 𝗲𝗲 very sensitive about this kind of stuff. Because 3 years ago, do you remember the exchange between her and 𝗪𝗪 talking about carbon credits?
Yeah.
Wow, that one she was damn flustered to the point that thankfully 𝗲𝗏 had to stand up and say, when there is a question answer, I thought one parliamentarian asks questions and sits down. Because 𝗲𝗲 was just at the podium just talking. And he said, okay, I will sit down. But it just feels like, wow, she really damn defensive. And because she doesn't post a lot of text, heavy stuff like this, right? If you go to a Facebook page, on the Facebook profile, they will show your 9 most recent photos, right?
Yeah.
She looks like she's damn emo because it just shows the text.
No, and even all her posts since that.
All like damn happy, right?
They're all happy on National Day, but there's always like 1 or 2 comments in there. Like I think she made a video meme about forgetting her earphones, and then volunteers all come and help her out. Then the comments are like, can count on you to save our forests. No wonder can't listen to the people. Trees do act as a barrier to noise pollution. So it's a very emotive issue, and the more you don't address it head on and all, then the more people want to make noise about it. But I would say, I would love to see more action from her rather than just words or so, right? Maybe leading some of these discussions. Just earning your place on that Time 100 list. We all these Forbes list, Time list, all that are very, we're proud to see a Singaporean on those lists also, right? We're proud to see that your actions are, leading our country are celebrated. But then you got to earn it. You got to earn it with our people. So in times like this, You need them to step up, right?
Yeah. I mean, I almost forgot that MSE is a ministry. Right.
Yeah.
It's rarely ever talked about. And that's why, like when we had Chan Chun Sing on our podcast last year, he is a military man. And when you see him take on the Minister of Defense role, you can see it's like, like when two jigsaw puzzles just come together, you can feel it in his soul,
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, you're seeing more and more ministers got no time to, as Jackie said, Jackie Young, the comedian, he said, Minister of Culture, no time for movies.
Yeah.
MSE, no time for forests.
Yeah.
And it's just a scary thought.
And even recently, we know that MSE is also in charge of coastal protection of Singapore, right? And then there are a lot of issues recently that got people riled up about the coastal foraging and things like that. Yeah, let's see, more activity, more forward planning, and more just coming to the forefront of these discussions, graceful. I think that's what we want from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the people forage on the seabed, we just adapt, Terence.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Even the restaurant that cooked the food,
they apologized.
They apologized. They came out and straight out just apologized.
Walao, you to understand, man. For them to apologize, the amount of hate and review bombing they must have gotten.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Graceful can do a bit more,
I mean, if Graceful would like to come on our podcast, we have extended invitations before. Still hasn't materialized. We're extending it again to Graceful's team. Yeah. We would love to have her to really have a conversation, and not just read her emotional Facebook posts.
Yeah, correct. Harish and I just saw something shocking. Now, apparently, over 60% of viewers of this channel are not even officially subscribed. This has to be a mistake, right? We know you're out there because so many have come up to tell us how much the podcast means to them. So, how can we fix this? Do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button. It will mean a lot to us, and it's awesome to know that the 𝗧𝗲 community is only getting stronger every day. Thanks for listening. But we did talk a little bit about AI's environmental impact on the world as well. But more than that, AI also was a very big part of discussions this National Day, right? And why was AI at the forefront of that?
Because there were two pieces of content, one of which was a feature film, even though it's only 64 minutes, that was released on National Day. So the second one, which was a shorter, almost like a microdrama, was released online. But and that's Bersama Maju. But the Trace project was released on National Day in Golden Village cinemas. And I think it was just one session, right?
One screening, yeah.
One screening. And I mean, there have been a lot of comments around it, including comments from the creators themselves. But National Day was not the first time we caught wind of this. When was the first time that I think one of our teammates shared it with us, right?
Oh, yeah. That's
a screenshot of this movie coming out. When you saw that, do you remember what you felt deep within you?
I mean, yeah, it just I saw it, then I went to check out the trailer and I saw that this backlash was surely coming, right? Like this kind of response would surely happen. But at the same time, I realized that a lot of these premieres, and we attended a premiere that on Friday as well of another movie, which we'll talk about at some point, right? A lot of these premieres, they exist primarily to generate buzz for a wider release to the audience, right? So in the same way, this premiere also, maybe they did quite a calculated move to just straight out go out in the cinemas on National Day and label themselves as like Singapore's first National Day movie, right? So that, I think they knew that this kind of buzz or at least negative reaction was going to happen, and we fell for it, kind of.
We fell for it. As a society.
As a society, as a people. I mean, the amount of response, outrage, and everything pouring out from everyone. It's kind of, we're playing to the hands, kind of.
Yeah. Because I mean, when our teammate first shared it, I was like, this is fucking terrible. Okay, like the AI onslaught that the government, that Singapore is shoving down our throats is crazy enough. And then the fact that this is a National Day movie and it's being touted as a National Day movie, of course you can argue that it's just by the creators themselves. But in a subsequent article that came out, apparently someone from the Singapore Film Commission, Singapore Film Society suggested it be debuted on National Day. Like, even though as an organization they've come out and said they don't support this.
They have nothing to do with it.
They have nothing to do with it. But there was someone within the organization. So then you get like filmmakers come out, a lot of comments online. And the sad thing is, I agree with you. Like the content creators, this is great for them. It's great for them because I never knew of things like Fist Dragon before. I downloaded the app just to watch the rest of the horrible feature-length movie, and I found out that you need community credits to watch it. I went to the 𝗓𝗲 𝗦𝗵𝗶 website, which, I mean, to their credit, it feels a lot more interactive. That it's not just a film, but the content is like a zombie attack on National Day. So it just feels like, shit. The eating into the content space has come hard.
But why are you being such a Luddite? This is like the future already.
Yeah.
This is the future of filmmaking and cinema and all that. Yes, there's some road bumps at the start of every journey. But that's what they said about automobiles 100 years ago, right? Why are you being such a Luddite about this?
I think the thing that annoys me the most is the fact that it was released on National Day. And it's always touted as an ode to Singapore, the Singapore story. And like, using words like Majula and all, which, yes, no one has a proprietary claim on the word Majula, but it just feels like I think people who go watch the movie also sometimes they get too much shit. Because I think it is important for any artist, any creator to understand the thing that we are all facing. Because without understanding, if you just shun it and say, this is terrible, then it's just causing a problem for yourself. For me, the National Day thing is the thing that's annoying.
I really took issue with the trailer literally said Singapore's first National Day movie. I thought that's quite a slap in the face, as some of the creators coined it, right? Where it's literally like saying that Singapore didn't have any attempts at a National Day movie before and all. And, there are a lot of movies, even like of filmmakers that we featured, like We Can Save the World, Chai Hong. There was very big like National Day elements in his film and things like that, right? So, for them, it's almost like they're just rewriting or casting our history into the dustbin, right? Where just outrightly claiming that they're Singapore's first National Day movie. If you put a caveat on it, like Singapore's first Gen AI National Day movie, I can live with that, right? You very clearly ring fence what your genre or category is, and then you want to watch it, you go ahead. You don't want to watch it, fine. But to sort of just come out and claim that they're the first National Day movie and then screen it on National Day, apparently, allegedly with the blessings of some institutions in Singapore. That's what everyone's really annoyed about. But they also are very, very defensive. The CEO is like personally on the YouTube trailer and everything, like defending the show and just sort of like pointing out that, why are you all shitting on this? This took efforts of 10 people across 3 countries to create, and it's about featuring Singapore. And all those issues about multiple stars on Singapore flag and all that, we're correcting it. That was what you watch in the cinemas was the premiere cut. There's a final cut there where all this is corrected already. So how do you feel about that when people say that?
I mean, how you say? Even for us, when we have put out stuff online, when we are building stuff like Folklore, we understand that the first iteration will always have kings. But that's where I feel the conversation now, it is, like what you say, playing into the hands of the people who are jizzing themselves over AI and the creators of this. But that's where I feel the conversation, maybe it needs to evolve, because we can't deny that there is going to be a tsunami of AI-generated content, right? And when I was thinking about it, if I just think about this as like a genre of its own, AI-generated content, then it makes it a bit more palatable, or I can tolerate it a bit more. Because I would imagine the first time cartoons or animated films came out, there may have been some resistance. What is this? There should only be human actors on screen. But then it became its own genre. In this case, the fact that 𝗬𝗲, tickets nowadays are $19. Like the one person from Maju we went, they paid $19. If it's being priced the same, if it's being shown at the expense of what could be a live action film, that's where I think it gets if it's treated the same as non-AI generated content, that's where it gets very tricky.
Yeah.
Because I think, I'm not saying like this shouldn't exist. I think it's impossible to say that this is not going to exist. And if technology goes there, it feels like there's no way to stop it. We need to understand it, but it feels like it's here to stay.
Yeah. I think it's true. Like, and I think the panel we spoke at a couple of weeks ago, one of the people on the panel said maybe what we really need to do is just create a whole separate category for Gen AI films. And people will see it as a separate category like animation and, animation films, Gen AI films. Then we will we'll judge it on a different scale. But when they are put alongside, normal live action films with that is 100% human actors and everything, that's why it feels like there's almost a sense of like there's a deception trying to go on. Like it's trying to trick your brain into accepting this is like real life, when it's not. And so that's where I feel maybe there really needs to be a conversation about, okay, let's not all get overly emotional about this and just accept that, there's going to be this genre of films that will come out and it's just what it is. Because I remember, I just go back to 2001, there was this movie called Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within that came out. And it was the first photorealistic like animation where the characters, they were all created by CGI and all. And it was very painfully and painfully created by human animators, right? But everything looked really quite photorealistic, even for its time in 2001, right? And I remember that came out, and it was like an event. I remember going on I went on a date to go and watch that movie and all. It was like, oh, this was the kind of thing like it's created by people. It's even harder to do than working with human actors. And I thought it was like worth going to watch. Although it ultimately ended as a box office failure, and it kind of ended the whole experiment with photorealistic characters and all. It felt like there was real intent and real human ingenuity and effort put into it. Whereas this one, I feel like the basic things like how many stars they're on the flag, or if they're not even bothering to catch these things, right? That means like how many details fell through the cracks before they decided, let's just release this on National Day. They never even watched through that film and see that there were these parts overlooked, which are huge parts.
Yeah.
And I think you one of your One Shiok Things recently was the 𝗖𝗄 AI, right?
I don't know whether it's been One Shiok Thing, but I've been telling you about it.
Yeah, 𝗖𝗄 AI, they created their own feature, and they had a BTS of how they created a feature, and they showed you that they were very transparent that this feature still cost $500,000 based on AI tokens and everything, and the prompts were really had
technical,
to be like technical, like page long essays to just create like 1 second of a scene or something. So it wasn't easy to create either. And you look at the results, it's night and day compared to what this 𝗬𝗲 project is, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not perfect. There's still a lot of elements of it that one look you can tell, okay, this is Gen AI and all that, right? But at least you can tell that there was a bit more effort in terms of maintaining intent and consistency throughout the film. Whereas for this 𝗬𝗲 project one, like I just see so many random things flying around that just don't make sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you know what you said about how it can't be an emotional thing, right? Because like it's like certain things that have gone viral online or getting a lot of traction online, it really is not constructive. Like, the post by Arvind J.
Yeah.
He posted like a title, "All right, I'm riled up enough to write this." And he went on to share his thoughts. He's a filmmaker. But I mean, he said stuff like, he talked about the creator of the show.
Yeah.
And he said, as an academic background in electrical engineering, which he studied at the National University of Singapore, and went on to chastise her for having an academic background and wanting to create film. I mean, I studied mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
You studied finance.
Yeah.
None of us are media trained.
Yeah.
So when it kind of like devolves down to that, then you're like, hey, shit, this is where the argument's going. You have a pending smirk on your face. So please proceed with what you want to say.
Oh, no. I just wanted to clarify. I studied finance and psychology. So closer to human. Don't pay me as finance bro, you don't come in finance bro. I finance as psychology.
Okay, I studied
psychology.
engineering and business. And who powers those businesses?
Business,
who powers
finance
business?
finance It's all money.
Okay,
all money.
Please,
you are all spreadsheets.
I did a paper on social entrepreneurship. No.
and which part of Africa you went to research for that paper?
Multiple parts.
See, again. Oh.
No, then you get people like Calvin Cheng, who also uses, he was slamming Arvind J's post, and he was using like analogies that don't make sense. Like in a bracket, he talks, human copyright, of course, still needs to be protected. But machine learning is in a way like human learning. We also look at past examples of content art and then try to produce something original. If you're equating human learning with machine learning, what the fuck is that? There's two very clear differences, right? At the center of one is a machine, at the center of one is human. So that's where, when you brought up the 𝗖𝗍 example, maybe a part of, just having stuff that is palatable is almost respecting the craft. If you look at the 𝗖𝗍 prompts and all, you realize, hey, I can't do this. Like to do this, it is a craft in and of itself. It took money, it took resources, and I feel that was a bit more respectful to film than this shit that came out.
Yeah.
But is that what it should be held by? And that's the scary thing. I think for them, 𝗖𝗍 Dragon, this launch was fucking successful.
Yeah.
It was a big success. And then they're just going to keep iterating. Like what you said, the next version will have all these things corrected.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. When I watched the 𝗖𝗍 thing, one thing is technical. That maybe I can't do this because there's still some element of like engineering involved, even in the prompting and like, data points and all that. But the other thing is I don't want to do it. Like to me, that's not fun. That's not the joy of like creating stuff, right? And there's a reason why, even with CGI and everything, some of the greatest directors and all still go back to practical effects because it's not even about what looks better on screen, but it's just that act of creating and trying to get to something as realistic as possible. That is the journey and that is the struggle and that's what's worth at the end of the day, right? So yeah, I don't want to do what the 𝗖𝗍 thing is doing, even if the results come out looking more polished and everything. I want to do it a bit more gritty and that kind of way, right? And I think that my taste in movies ends up reflecting that. So the problem I have now in Singapore is that a lot of the institutions are, when we go to their briefings about AI use in how our creative AI use and all that, they're showing very subpar levels of content, right? Like stuff that really is below the standard of like if we send a team out to go and film something and then versus them generating a guy making coffee in a coffee machine or that. It's the AI model is producing stuff that is lower in quality than the stuff that actual humans can do. But they keep telling us to just use the AI to do that because it's cheaper. So it's almost just telling you just lower your standards a bit. Don't have such high standards, and then everything will be okay because it's cheaper. So the cost of it becomes the driving priority of why we're using AI, rather than because it's better than what we can produce or what.
But they never explicitly say it's the cost.
Right? They don't but it's very clear on screen that the quality is lower, right? And yes, we can say, but the quality will get better, don't worry. Yeah, then show it to me when the quality is better already. And then make me aspire to want to use AI to do it. But then if you're just showing this subpar products like Trace Project and saying that this will save our film industry or that, I can't buy that.
Yeah. And then when you couch, you might not say it's saving costs, but when you say this used to take 3 days, you can now do it 1 day.
Yeah.
Instead of just phrasing it differently, what you can do in 3 days, now you can accomplish so much more, stuff like that. And like what you said, right? If let's say they were to show something like 𝗖𝗍, what 𝗖𝗍 has produced at one of his talks, and they showed a prompt, to me, I'm like, like what you said, I don't want to get into that. People want to get into that, sure. It's like if you study film, you want to at some point decide you want to do live action or animation, you go do your thing. But like if it's almost a craft in and of itself. And I think that is respecting the craft of AI prompting, but also respecting film.
Yeah.
In this case, it's just there's no nuance. It's just seen as another film. And then, of course, as practitioners, when you talk to companies, when you talk to brands, when you talk to potential sponsors, it'll become a cost thing. They'll be like, oh, but this other provider that I see as totally same as what you do, then creative or a tenth of the cost. What is your value? And then we're Luddites.
Then like 15 years ago, couldn't people have said the same of what we do on YouTube also?
They did.
Yeah. Like for example, the TV stations would be like, oh, we want to create comedy content that, can reach people, all that. Then they say, hey, but then there's this Ministry of Funny guys, they are just taking one DSLR, one camera, and like one microphone, then go out on the streets and creating stuff that a lot of people are watching and all. But you are cheapening the craft of creating good comedy. Well, what do you say to that? Huh?
I mean, at that point in time, TV was TV, film was film, and YouTube was YouTube. So it almost felt like there's a different platform. If there's another platform that is only for AI content, then okay lah.
Yeah.
Like YouTube and social media was so new that there was almost like we knew we would never end up on TV. We knew we would never end up on film. And this was like a space that came out for this type of content.
Yeah.
So I remember because we were in those conversations where people looked at us as just YouTubers. You all left your jobs to do this. You all are fools. You all blah, blah. So maybe it's the PTSD from that also.
Yeah.
But it was a different platform.
Yeah, it was a different platform. And when we transitioned to television and all that, I think we respected what the craft was there as well, right? And the effort required to create something for television to sustain people's attention for longer periods of time. Right?
And we had to sacrifice a lot to do that.
Yeah. Correct,
we had to kind of learn, we had to get scolded by people in the industry and all that, but it's part of it. So then is it just that thing? Let's say *𝗲𝗲 𝗦𝗵𝗀, right? Before they make their next film, they must be scolded for 10 months.
Maybe.
But even then, it made me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
But put in time.
But I mean, I also don't want to toot our horns, but the point was that it was not easy to create what we created on YouTube also, right? And we know it.
For any creator on YouTube, right? It's not easy.
Yeah, like to create a 3-minute video on YouTube also meant that we were out there for 6 hours on the street interviewing people and things like that. So I think people they could see the effort. Yes, the end result wasn't as polished as what you see on TV with a big crew and all that. But people could see the effort and they marvel at only 2 of you all doing this kind of thing, right? And that's where I feel is what is lacking when I watch something like Trace Project, the trailer and all. It's just I just see a lack of effort.
Yeah.
And a lack of effort and just using AI as a shield to tell people to just lower your standards. Because this is the future, and just accept it for what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, we are complainers, basically.
Complainers.
Yeah,
no.
Because people who are like loving the AI content, they see it as the future. People like 𝗂𝗏𝗀, they're like, guys, get with the program, Okay, parents, don't be so fucking idealistic.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm quite I guess I was quite surprised that in recent months when I talk to people in our media industry and all, actually a surprising number of people that I thought would be hard against AI and all that, they actually seem quite like, actually I can use this to make my workflow easier.
Work from home.
Work from home. I don't need to deal with like annoying humans and all that kind of thing. I think I've met animators, like live action directors also, producers who say these things. And it was quite surprising because I thought they'd be the ones beating the drum about anti-AI and all, but they're not. And that made me kind of realize maybe when you take away the emotion from looking at this, then you really see AI as a tool to enhance what you can do as a human already. But I think the outrage here is when people almost take humans out of the equation entirely and then use AI to create. Like, I mean, some of the criticism is valid. Like I think people are saying, like, even in the trailer, the military officer, his uniform straight away it's like the China army uniform already, right? Singapore also got army and very prominent part of society. Why is it not being featured front and center?
In the first few seconds, there's an error in editing.
Yeah.
There's a blip almost and it goes back. And it just feels like,
But how come, I mean, I want to be the ally here, right? And also call out, like, how come, like, all the lead characters in the film all, like, got Chinese names?
That's where the 𝗲𝗲 𝗦𝗵𝗶, that one got a bit more diversity.
Yes.
Got a bit more diversity.
I'm going to give you the floor now.
I mean, it's really slop, it's really crap. Like, how much more you want to criticize it? But they will tell you in the next version, don't worry. Got Indian, got Malay, Yeah, since when last time part of the beauty of like art is once you create it, once you cook a dish and all that, it's done lah.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Oh, you don't like the movie? Okay. You're gonna have a separate screening just for minorities, all Indian people.
Minority edit.
When you choose Trace Project, you want like all Chinese, all Malay. You can choose. Maybe today I do a bit of C and I, C and I. Then another day with CMO. Maybe I don't need. Yeah, it might become like that.
Director's cut is on minority cut.
Minority cut. Oh my god, yeah, that might be a thing also lah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I mean, what would make you want to go and watch a Gen AI film in the cinemas?
Like even Trace Project, I would be open to watching it because I just want to understand how terrible it is and almost how comedic it is.
But not. I'm not saying Trace Project lah, because we kind of know how like it's bad already.
Yeah.
But what would make you want to go and watch like a Gen AI project? Like, let's say if Christopher Nolan does a Gen AI film or something, would that interest you to go and watch it?
I mean, like a monster film set in Singapore. That would be cool lah.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where 𝗓𝗲 𝗦𝗶𝗀 certain parts, you know, where they show like NDP going to shit and like the buildings in Singapore on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like something you cannot fathom, and it's like an alternate reality. So that one, if it's directed well and all, then I might be open to it lah.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to a movie called Circle Line, which is a monster movie set in Singapore.
Yeah.
Directed by
got buildings on fire, got MBS crumbling.
The underground.
Yeah,
you want to okay.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Shout out to JD lah. Just wanted to make sure that 𝗲𝗲 recognize your efforts.
I mean, that's part of the scale of a city on fire that is hard to replicate.
Yeah.
And for you?
I think definitely it would be more in the realm of like science fiction or, you know, big action adventure thing. Because, you know, in Singapore, we can't film, you can't film the MBS on fire and all that. You might get charged or thrown to jail for that kind of thing, right? But yeah, I mean, maybe with what Gen AI will allow you to do is to visualize some of these things that, you can only, I mean, we have scripts also or story ideas that really involve very, very big sets,
universes,
right? Based on our budget. One thing we're always told is Singapore, the market is too small for this kind of show. We cannot do sci-fi, we cannot do action because even if you do very nice already, only 5 million people can watch it. What's the point, right?
Yeah.
So this is a chance to use something to create a Singapore story that can resonate with people.
But you brought up one good point, which I think, there's no conversations about it. Like you just said that if you were to film MBS on fire, you'll get in trouble. But when it comes to AI, Singapore flag, Six Flags, it's okay. Because like I would imagine our flag or the national emblem, we just had a conversation last week about another country's flag that was displayed.
Yeah.
And it feels like flags are holy grail in Singapore.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to AI, it's just part of AI.
Yeah.
It's just old people making.
That's true.
So that's where it feels like how we navigate that. If people wanted to bring back, you know, the deceased pioneers of Singapore as zombies.
Yeah.
What's the regulation there?
Interesting thought, because all films that are shown in cinemas kind of need to go through censorship. Yeah. So you tell me all those people watched it and didn't notice like the 6 stars on the flag and all that. It's kind of.
I mean, they just tell IMDb, next version. I send you another link.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point. Maybe we need to ask like, how did this get through the censors and all? So
I mean, yeah, exactly, because it's not say Golden Village can decide on their own, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain process. Right?
Yeah.
More National Day. Remember last year also, was it on National Day where Jack Neo reanimated Lee Kuan Yew?
Yeah, and all our members of parliament also, a lot of them,
Yeah, the one all okay.
Yeah.
Because it's in the name of National Day.
Yeah.
So next year we also got National Day movie.
We do our own National Day parade.
National Day parade.
Which, funnily enough, I just thought of it like, I was sitting down to watch NDP with my wife and kid, right? And then I think my kid was like, "Hey, Daddy, there's a parade going on. It's like there are floats going on, and there's like army marching past and all that." I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? There's no mobile column this year." Then I went down and saw what they were seeing on TV, and it was basically a Gen AI military parade featuring like NDP floats. They said just National Day floats. And it looked looked like it was real. I mean, obviously to a kid or kids watching.
Oh,
but you just look at it, it's slop, and it's got like MBS has 2 towers in the background.
It was part of the parade screening.
No, but it was being recommended to me on YouTube, because I guess a lot of people were watching it thinking that it was, this is so cool.
What the? Yeah. Oh, like one of those after football highlights, they replay it on PS5 and all that, they just put the highlights or something. Have you seen that?
Yeah, you mean like fake highlights?
Fake highlights, yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, it was entirely AI-Slop, and I did not appreciate that it was being pushed to me on my YouTube homepage and all that, because it's completely Gen AI-Slop, and the people marching, like they're Caucasians, army of Caucasians marching next to a float with that has merlion spewing out water on a float, which doesn't make sense. So it must
be somewhere on YouTube, lah.
It is. I mean, maybe it was taken down. I remember I think it was live or premiering at that point of time, but yeah, I just didn't appreciate that was being pushed out. And yeah, kids or other people will see these things and think that it's real. So I had to spend a bit of time explaining to my child that this is fake, and how do you spot like when it's fake. And I think he did a very good job, like pointing out MBS has like only 2 towers and things like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
He's probably like, my father is so old-fashioned.
Luddite. Yeah. Oh man. But that's what we're putting our kids through, like, we are forcing them to have to question everything that is they watch in front of them, which is I guess it's a good thing. But one day Gen AI will be so good that you can start. It's very hard to discern between it already, lah.
Yeah, but cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what is your one Shiok comment from the past few days?
I gotta pull up mine. What is yours?
My one Shiok comment was because last Friday at the film premiere we went, we managed to speak to President Tharman for a while.
Yeah.
Towards the end, he was making his exit, and I will still say that I felt like he recognized us. I don't think that's a far-fetched if you go and look at our social media videos and all that. And, he was talking to Terrence and I, and after that his wife came on. But we posted some of the stuff on stories, and I think there was a video also. And people pointed out, I think Stone Hello posted on Reddit a few screenshots that, and throughout the discussion, Terrence just got a handshake.
Yeah.
But I got a shoulder grip and pat.
Special handshake.
And then people were saying it's like that 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀 sketch where, the Obama handshake with like the other black people. When it comes to white person, it's just like a very formal handshake.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, lah. I mean, you okay, lah, right? You okay, right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Also, because I made a joke about him in the film, which I think he enjoyed, lah.
Yeah. He very graciously gave you a slap on the shoulder.
Slap on the shoulder, yeah, correct.
Yeah, but also shook hands with the First Lady.
The First Lady, who also seems like she watches the show, which is great.
Yeah, and also,
which is great. Hello.
Jotio, Mr. Jotio was there also.
Jotio also, yeah.
So interesting event.
Yeah, that was my one Shiok comment. You?
My one Shiok comment is from Cindy Low 6303 on YouTube. She said that hearing Terrence talk about his English oral exam, I googled the image of a hammock and asked my 12-year-old what this is. He's taking his PSLE oral tomorrow. So I think, she just want to make sure that her 12-year-old doesn't make the silly mistake that I did all those years ago.
But so I'm assuming her 12-year-old got it correct, lah.
I don't know. I asked, but I haven't heard back, lah.
I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, what is your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is, over the past few days, lah. So it is the fact that Singapore qualified for the Hyundai semi-finals, the ASEAN Cup semi-finals.
Yeah.
They're playing this August 15th, so Saturday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like even this morning, we pushed back the recording slightly because we wanted to get tickets.
Yeah.
And I would say unfortunately for us, but fortunately for Singapore football, it seemed like it was selling out like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And this is at 𝗀𝗲 Stadium, so it's not a national stadium capacity. But to have that feeling like, oh fuck, I'm not going to get tickets for our national team football game, it really made me very proud. It felt very proud, and I'm just so happy that they made it to the semi-finals. You see the highlights of the last game they played against Indonesia. You could see the fight in them.
Yeah.
And regardless of the result, I think we have to give them all our love. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
But can't see it in person.
Yeah. I mean, if not, then just have to watch it on TV.
Watch on TV, yeah.
Like NDP or that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we'll hope for somehow that we can make our way there.
Yeah.
Right?
What about you?
I guess since it's that time of the year, my One Shiok Thing is I think Lin Ying, about a few days, 1 or 2 days before the actual NDP itself, Lin Ying, the Singaporean singer-songwriter who wrote The Road Ahead, right? And sang The Road Ahead. She released the Road Ahead sentimental version on her own YouTube channel. It's got about almost 5,000 views as of now. But yeah, it's just the version of The Road Ahead where she sings the song entirely alone in her voice without and with a bit of change in the musical accompaniment and all that. So it's accompanied by visuals, which I think were maybe even just taken from her own phone or something like that. So it feels very gritty, very, very homemade. But just the version of The Road Ahead with just her.
What's it called?
The Road Ahead sentimental version, yeah.
Oh.
The version of the song with just her vocals, quite haunting, quite amazing. Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, her voice really is national treasure also, I think.
It is. But cool, man.
Cool.
Awesome. Hope everyone else also had a good National Day weekend. Thanks so much for listening. Shout out to Nikon for making the video so sharp.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you all soon.
Before you go, we need your help. You probably know that most news outlets only cover one side, and it's dividing all of us. But we refuse to do that because every episode, we try to understand both sides of important global news, and especially the unpopular side. But it's not easy. We're a small team up against big media and big tech algorithms. So I'm asking for a favor. If you're not subscribed yet, it'll mean a lot to us if you could hit subscribe here, because that one click will really help us continue improving our episodes while keeping them free for you. Thank you so much.